Here we back. Yeah, we back. Now, damn, why they coming after my man Umar like that? Now, Umar back in the news. As you already know, sometime last week, one of Umar's daughters allegedly came out on social media and called them out. Some people said she was clout chasing, things like that. But now, Dr. Umar is actually going on the offensive and actually calling out his second baby mama, right? Because apparently now she's hopping into the mix because she was looking at the drama between Umar and the daughter and the first baby mom. So now the second baby mom jumping into the mix. So now Umar's calling her out. So let's get into that, right? So I'm going to jump into the clip of his daughter from the first baby mom calling him out. And then we're going to jump into the clip of Umar calling out the second baby mom. And I'm going to give my thoughts on the situation. Now, before we get into that, you already know album out now. Album available everywhere. Apple Music, Spotify. Go to the homepage of my YouTube channel, my playlist section. Sahel AT16. Now, let's jump into the clip to refresh your memory, and I'll be right back.
My biological father is Dr. Umar. I tried to contact him about, getting to know my sister.
Child support started. You wasn't even out your mama yet. And she took me to child support. Deadbeat who? Deadbeat who? Child custody file this thick. What are we talking about? Where is Mama Smurf? What is your mama's Instagram? We want to ask her some questions. Where's your mama's face? Where is the mother? And none of y'all asking no questions.
Lord have mercy.
This is how you know that this is not about the truth.
Now, that was between Umar and his first baby moms and his daughter. Now, I'm going to jump into the clip of Umar calling out his second baby mom, right? Now, she jumped into the mix because apparently his second baby moms had reached out to the first baby moms asking her if Dr. Umar is still romantically involved with her, right? So, let's jump into the clip, Umar going through the baby mama drama. Let's continue.
Since you had time to reach out to Mama Smurf and Baby Smurf, since you have time to go find Mama Smurf and Baby Smurf, Baby Smurf said that you said, Baby Smurf said that Miss Vegan found her mother to ask her if we were still in a relationship. Miss Vegan, is that true? Mrs. Vegan.
Pull-up season. So let me say this about the baby mama drama.
So I done already sent the message to baby mama number 2, Miss Vegan. Baby mama number 2, Miss Vegan. Baby mama number 2, Miss Vegan. You have 2 weeks to produce my child, who you've been keeping from me while I've been paying child support. Just like baby mom number 1, it's deja vu. It's deja vu. Collecting my child support, denying me my child. Collecting my child support, denying me my child. Collecting my child support, denying me my child. So baby mama number 2, we talking to Miss Vegan right now. We ain't talking about Mama Smurf, she old news. We talking about Mrs. Vegan, baby mama number 2. You have until the eclipse of March 29th. You have until my Florida A&M University Black Psychology Conference return to produce my baby. If I do not meet and see my child by Saturday, March 29th, Mrs. Vegan, I will be going live. And I'm going to tell the whole world information you don't want them to know. And Mrs. Vegan, I don't want to put your business in the streets. You are the mother of my beautiful African princess. You are the mother of my beautiful African princess. And I respect you, Miss Vegan. I respect you. But you are not going to deny me my child anymore. We have a child support hearing coming up because you want more money. We have a child support hearing coming up because you want more money. We have a child support hearing coming up because you want more money. No problem. No problem. I will be at the child support hearing. But we're not talking about child support right now. We're talking about a relationship between the prince and the princess. We're talking about a relationship between Queen Kong and King Kong. I better see my baby in the next 2 weeks. You better text me, date, time, place. And once I see my child, you and I will schedule uninterrupted visits. Not in your house. We're not doing grandmama couch no more. I'm taking my daughter out with me, and she's going to spend quality time with me. She's going to go on the road with me. She's going to Africa with me. She's going to London with me. She's going to Jamaica with me. We're going to create a custody agreement outside of the white man. Oh, yes. Black self-determination. We're going to get back to Garveyism starting today. We're going to get back to Garveyism starting today. Baby Smurf said that Miss Vegan found her mother to ask her if we were still in a relationship. Miss Vegan, is that true? So you don't need to be asking Mama Smurf if we in a relationship. Absolutely not. Any woman that will deny a man his child has no right to be a wife to anyone. I'm going to say it again. Any woman who denies a man a right to see his child has no business being anybody's wife. Black men, it's time to unite.
Nah. Did Umar say what I think he said?
Black men, it's time to unite.
Nah, see, Dr. Umar, you can't be saying black men, it's time to unite when you've been going around the world telling black women it's okay to date outside the race, brother. Hold up, bro. Now, listen, hold up, man. Let's get into it. Now, obviously, Dr. Umar Johnson broke one of my commandments, right? Like I said, maybe these women might have been very physically appealing. I don't know who these women are, the mother of his children. Maybe at the time, he might have been physically enticed by what they look like, what the exterior presented to him. Maybe at the time it was just infatuation. Maybe at the time, whatever it was, right? But the fact remains that the women he decided to make the mother of his children, Dr. Umar Johnson is not compatible with these women. It seems not on any level, whether that might be mentally, spiritually, personality-wise, mentality. The women he chose to be the mother of his children, he is not compatible with these women on any level, as you can see, right? And one thing I always talk about on my channel is the women you choose to be the mother of your children and start a family, the least you could do, brother, is at least be compatible with her mentally, spiritually, ideologically, right? That should be the first things first before you even think about making children. That's what I always tell y'all brothers. Make sure you are compatible. Make sure the mindset of the woman you choose is compatible with you, right? That's the thing I always talk about on my channel, something I'm always preaching. In my video that I made about Umar the other day, a few of y'all came into the comment section and some of you had said that judging by the behavior and the demeanor and the manners of Dr. Umar's first daughter, allegedly, right? A lot of y'all said that you could tell that she was not raised by Umar, right? She was very disrespectful in her interviews, using a lot of profanity, just very, you could tell that whatever, household she grew up in, that Umar probably wasn't there, right? You would expect the woman that was Dr. Umar's daughter to be similar to the woman you'd find in the Nation of Islam or something like that. But as you can tell, she was very, rambunctious and, whatever. So that was a testament to the household she was raised in. Like I said, everybody's a product of their environment. And obviously the woman that Dr. Umar Johnson chose to be the mother of his children, he's simply not compatible with these women, right? You seem to be in conflict with these women, which means that your mindset and her mindset is different from yours. The way that you see the world is not the way that she sees the world. And of course, there are some women who get upset by certain things I say when I tell black men that, listen, you have to be very selective with the women you choose to be the mother of your children. If you have certain standards and prerequisites, then you better stand firm on those. If there are women who simply don't qualify to be the mother of your children, there's nothing wrong with that, right? There are some women who get upset when I say that, but the reason I say that is because we should have more couples, men and women, who are on the same page. If you're gonna come together and start a family, the woman you choose, the man you choose should have the same similar mentality, similar spirit, similar energy as you, so you can be compatible, so you can be on the same page and work in unison to build a family, right? So, like I said, everything I say, man, is really for the greater good of the community, so listen, there's a method to the madness. Now, one thing this whole entire scandal has exposed is that apparently Dr. Umar Johnson is being plundered by child support. Obviously, Dr. Umar Johnson is, he's suffering under the weight of child support, apparently. That is one thing we have realized with this scandal. Now, here's the thing. Here's the cold reality. If you're a black man living in the United States of America, these rules do not apply around the world, and I'll get into that later. But if you are a black man living in the United States of America, I cannot talk about, other Western nations like the UK. I don't know how they get down. But in the United States, right? Yes, there's a financial incentive for a woman to have a broken family. And what do I mean by that? As the parent with the sole custody, if you are the primary caregiver of the child, then you can go down to the courthouse and, if the husband, or well, not the husband, but if the child's father is a man of prominence, if he's a man of means, if he's a man who, he got some money, then you can go down to the courthouse and demand more money because you are the sole provider. You are the one who's the primary caretaker of the child. So yes, there's an incentive there for them to not only be the primary caretaker, but also keep you away from your child. Because if you're the father, the more you can prove that you spend time with the child, right, the less money they can demand in the court. So if there's a woman who, she wants to get you for the bread, you a man of high prominence, fame, and status, then yes, she has an incentive to keep you away from the child. That way she'll be able to go to the court and demand a raise on the child support payments, right? Now, the only way to really avoid this or minimize this, if you're a black man living under the laws and guidelines of the United States of America, is to get with the woman who also values the same things as you, right? If you're somebody like Dr. Umar, who says he values the black family, right? Obviously, these women don't value the black family, right? Because he said before the child was even born, they went down to the courthouse for child support. So obviously, the black family is not at the top of the agenda for these women right here, right? But if she's a woman who values the black family and she's not trying to, get the courts in between your business, and she wants to, be under one roof with you, then that minimizes the courts getting all up in your business, right? That goes back to being with a woman who's compatible with you, same mindset as you, same mentality as you, similar personality as you, same, the way she sees the world is similar as you. I guarantee, right? I don't know his business, but I guarantee when Dr. Umar Johnson was choosing these women, the way he chose them was based on superficial, nonsense. Probably because they had a big booty. Probably because they was wearing the head wraps with the natural hair and the locks. Probably had, the Egyptian Ankh earrings or some, superficial nonsense, right? And then he went and splashed and made a baby, right? I guarantee he didn't, fully examine what he was dealing with at all, right? Now he dealing with the ramifications and the consequences. I'm sorry to tell you. That's why I say, brothers, you got to make sure the mindset of the woman you choose is compatible with you. Now, of course, you can still trip and fall and fail, but at the same time, this minimizes running into roadblocks and nonsense and baby mama drama like this. And when you live in the United States, you have to take these measures. You have to make sure the woman you're dealing with is compatible with you, because you cannot afford to make a mistake. If you are living in another country, right? If you're living on the continent of Africa, if you live in somewhere in the Caribbean, as a man, you have more room for mistakes. You have more room for error, right? The family courts are going to take your side more often than the United States, right? The community is going to rally behind you more often than the United States, right? In the United States, the women have more leverage here. That's just a fact, right? You can complain about it. You can, be on your red pill shit and just complain about it and cry about it. But that's the fact of the matter. In the United States, the women have more leverage in the arena of the family courts, which means that as a black man, you cannot afford to make a mistake. So when you are choosing a woman to be the mother of your children, you better make sure you're making the right decision, brother. Now, when I said, if you live outside of the country, if you live outside of the United States, as a man, you have more leverage to make mistakes. What do I mean by that? Take my family, for example, right? My father's married to my mother, but he also had children from previous relationships, right, before the marriage. So I have an older half sister. Now, back in the day before I was born, when my father had got with my sister's mother, it wasn't like, they were planning for marriage. It was just kind of, they just hooked up. They got together. She ended up pregnant. That was that. My father didn't, vet this woman to see if she'll be a proper mother for his child or nothing. My father was just doing this thing, got a woman pregnant unexpectedly. That was that. That's how it went down. Now, this was before my father came to the United States and settled in the United States. This was back in Haiti, right? Now, fast forward to today, right? My father's a highly successful black man, multiple businesses, multiple streams of revenue, beautiful house, beautiful cars, doing his thing, very blessed. Now, if that went down in the United States, she could have, broken for child support, went down to the courts, asked for a raise in child support with my father, bought a bigger house and, opened another business. Like, she could have really, if she lived in the United States, she could have really broke my father in the child support courts for the check, right? But back during that time, because obviously my father was the parent that was destined for success, had the higher prospects and opportunities, he simply took custody of my sister at a very young age, and she was pretty much raised with my father's side of the family, right? So in the United States, he would not have been able to do that, right? He could have been charged with, parental abduction, parental kidnapping. The mother could have, took an emergency custody order, went to the police, got an arrest warrant out on his name. It could have been a felony charge, right? It could have been real messy if that was in the United States, right? Because even if you as the father, you are the superior parent, you have more means of providing, right? The child would be better under your care than under her care. The courts are still going to rule in her favor. So in the United States, you don't really have much room to make a mistake, right? So that's why you got to do your research and do your homework on the woman you decide to be the mother of your child, right? You see back home, back in Haiti, my father could just take custody of my sister because, he said, I'm the superior parent, so I'm going to take custody of the child. And there's nothing she could do about it. My father went to the United States and ended up becoming a millionaire. So obviously it was the correct decision. My sister was better under his care than under her care. And unfortunately for my sister's mother, because these child support, laws don't exist back home, her mother was not able to get a single dollar out of my father, right? Because he has primary custody, and that's that. Now, later on, my father ended up marrying my mother in the United States, and they had me, and, we here, But if you are a black man living in the United States, you cannot do what my father did with my older sister, right? If you get a woman pregnant and you feel like the child is better under your care and living with your family than with the child's mother, you cannot simply just take custody of the child and just, take the child from the mother like my father did, because they're going to say you are kidnapping the child. This is parental abduction. In some states, that's a felony charge, and the police can go actually arrest you and take the child back and give it back to the mother. And then on top of that, like I said, if a woman does take you to child support, there is a financial incentive for her to keep you away from the child, because the less time you spend with the child and the more she can prove that she is the primary custodian of the child, the primary caregiver, she can go to the courts and demand more money. So there is a financial incentive to keep you away from the child. And you can't just go take the child away from the mother, because that is a felony charge. Now, if you live outside of the United States, outside of the legal framework of the family court system in this country, then you have more leverage in that situation, like my father did. You could just take the child from the mother, right? I'm the superior parent. I have more means of providing. I'm on the road to success, so I'm going to take the child to live with me, period. End of discussion. In the United States, you cannot do that, brother. They will send you to jail. They will send you to jail. If my father did that in the United States, he would be in jail. So like I said, brothers, you just have to be on point. When you choose a woman to be the mother of your child, that is not a decision to be taken lightly, right? Obviously, Dr. Umar Johnson, he did not do his homework at the time. He was just doing anything. He was just smashing anything, obviously. And now he ended up in this situation, crying about child support. Now, when we look at Dr. Umar Johnson's situation, like I said, only thing we can do is take it as a case study. Brothers, listen, when you choose a woman to be the mother of your child, man, please make sure you're compatible. Please make sure it's not just a physical infatuation. Please understand that you live in the United States of America. Please understand the laws that govern the territory of which you live. Now, if this was somewhere in Nigeria, then Dr. Umar Johnson could just go and take his daughter, and that's that, right? I'm gonna take my daughter, I'm taking custody of my daughter, and that's that, period. End of discussion. But he cannot do that because we live in the United States, and that is that is a felony charge. So unfortunately, you got to go through the legal framework. You got to go pay a bunch of lawyers a bunch of money, waste a bunch of money going to the white man's court, right? Now, the only way to avoid this is to actually get with women who are actually compatible with you, on the same page as you, the same mentality as you, same mindset as you. The way you see the world is the same way she sees the world, right? It has to be more than just physical infatuation, superficial infatuation, right? Like I said, don't be fooled by the exterior, brothers. Dr. Umar Johnson was probably fooled by the physical appearance, man. Don't be fooled by the exterior, man. Let this be a case study. Let this be, a warning to brothers, man. In the United States, you have no room for error. You have no room for error. No room at all for error. If you live outside the country, you have more room for error. You have more leverage. In the United States, though, you have no leverage. You have no room for error. You have to stay on point at all times. Anyways, man, this is Boy Neferkari. That's Salim back at the Billy. Yes, indeed. Cash App in the description. Support the album. Album available everywhere. Sahel 1816. And I'm gone. Peace. Cash App in the description.
Gotta go get it, I'm never waiting. Stay the trends and I'm innovative. Shorty, she on me, she said she love me. Straight to the top and I'm elevated. Straight to the top and I'm never stopping. Running my business, I'm enterprising. Working that money, I get it fast. Stay in my lane and I hit the gas. Counting my blessings and make it last. Don't want a fraction, I want it all. Stick to the code and the protocol. Feel like a king and I'll never fall. Fuck up a check when I'm in the mall. Riding that German, I'm in a Benz. Plotting revenge, I don't make amends. Hitting that corner and make it bend. Up in the sky like commercial pilots. Keep it 100, I'm moving silence. Know we united, they can't divide us. Say that she love when I give her guidance. Told me she love me, I know it's real. Know they gon' hate, but I know the deal. Know they gon' hate when you so official. Paying my dues like I'm sacrificial. Handle my business so beneficial. Ride on my enemies with the miss. Ride on my enemies with a chop. Coming for blood, make them call the doctor. Coming for blood, I ain't showing mercy. Probably gon' kill me or try to hurt me. Probably gon' kill me, I keep it tending. Bulletproof vehicle when I whip it. Came from the bottom, I really live it. Really, my life is a motion picture. Lately, I feel like the trend is topping. Keep it authentic, I keep it honest. Up at the bank with a new deposit. Call me the boss and I pay the cost. Feel like a rocket, I'm taking off. come to the crib and she take it off. Gotta go get it, I'm never waiting. Stay in the trends and I'm innovative. Shorty, she on me, she said she love me. Straight to the top and I'm elevated. Straight to the top and I'm never stopping. Running my business, I'm enterprising. Wasting that money, I get it fast. Stay in my lane and I hit the gas. Counting my blessings and make it last. Don't want a fraction, I want it all. Stick to the code and the protocol. Feel like a king and I'll never fall. Fuck up a check when I'm in the mall. Riding that German, I'm in the Benz. Plotting revenge, I don't make amends. Hitting that corner and make it big. Go. Never wait. Innovative. Say she love me. Elevated. Never stop it. Enterprising. Get it fast.